We have some more breaking news from the NHL tonight. The Winnipeg Jets have acquired another defenseman. Nate Schmidt from Vancouver is on his way to Winnipeg. We'll discuss this deal coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some more breaking news. We have another NHL trade to talk about here yet today. It's been a very busy day and a very busy couple of weeks here since the season's wrapped up. The Winnipeg Jets continue to change their blue line and add some more talent back there. Blue line has been a major issue for them the past couple of years after losing so many guys via free agency, and of course Dustin Byfuglien basically retiring. That was unexpected. Now they've gone on and they added Brendan Dillon the other night, and now they add Nate Schmidt from Vancouver. Now, Nate Schmidt's contract's a little bit of an issue in my opinion. It's a $5.95 million cap hit. They are going to be absorbing the entire amount, and they are giving up a third-round pick in next year's NHL draft to make that trade happen. Now, Nate Schmidt also has 4 years left on his contract, and he does have a modified no-trade clause. There was speculation earlier in the week, for the last number of days really, that the Jets were very interested in Schmidt, and they've been trying to get a deal done, but he was unwilling to waive his modified no trade because the Jets were on his list of teams he would not accept a trade to. So that was problematic, but eventually it looks like he's come around and agreed to do so. He's from Minnesota, so it's not all that far from home. Not sure how important that was to him, but obviously, he really enjoyed his time in Vegas. Before that, he was in Washington, and of course in Vancouver, it just didn't work out. It just wasn't a great fit, and obviously he didn't have a great season, so it was time for him to move on. And even though general manager Jim Benning didn't really want to acknowledge a situation, as he called it, there's no Nate Schmidt situation, it was quite clear and publicly acknowledged by NHL insiders and reporters that Schmidt's agent and Benning were working together trying to find a new home for the defenseman. So this is a nice addition to Winnipeg. Like I said, my only concern is the salary cap. Obviously they had, I think it was about $13.5 million available. Now they're going to be down to about $7.5 after this contract gets on the books. And they still have to sign some key players like defenseman Neil Pionk. They still have to sign Andrew Kopp. They don't have a backup goalie, so they either need to sign Brossoit or find a replacement for him. Logan Stanley needs a new contract as well, but they do have the Brian Little contract. He's still under contract for a few more years and is not going to be playing again, so they can go into LTIR relief if necessary. So they do have that option if their ownership wants to spend above the cap, like many teams have had to do recently to be compliant here. So we'll see, but obviously with Josh Morrissey being there, I would suspect that Nate Schmidt is likely going to play the right side, I assume, because he plays both sides. Even though he shoots left, he's one of those defensemen that is comfortable on the other side. So it could be a scenario where they want him to be Morrissey's partner. We'll see, because they do also have Dylan DeMello. They've got Brendan Dillon, and that'll be a fun pair together because you can have Brendan Dillon or Dylan DeMello. It's kind of a fun play on names there. Then, of course, you still got Logan Stanley. You still got some young guys like Heinola, and you've got Dylan Sandberg. You get Neil Pionk. So they have more than enough capable defensemen now. They get a really strong crop of blue liners, enough to be 7-8 deep that they're comfortable with. And I would also suspect because of this trade and the Brendan Dillon trade, that means that guys like Jordy Ben and Derek Forbort definitely won't be back. Tucker Pullman likely doesn't come back either. I would suspect forward Matthew Perreault is going to be looking for work elsewhere as well. All kind of victims of the salary cap to a degree. Some of it just wasn't, long-term commitments either. But we'll have to see how everything plays out. But I think this is another good trade. My only concern is just the cap hit. But if he can get back to playing like a top pair guy and play like he did in Vegas, I think this could be a valuable move. So we'll see how everything works out. But the Jets blue line looks way better today than it did even a few days ago, which is good news for them trying to become a Stanley Cup contender once again. They were a few years where they were getting closer and closer, went to the conference finals, and they kind of had to take some steps back after all the changes. Now they're kind of going back in the right direction. So let me know what your thoughts are on this trade. We'll discuss further down in the comments. There have been several other signings as well. There's going to be another video coming up before the evening is over, recapping other news. So stay tuned for that as well. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around, and we'll keep you up to date with all the latest news and rumors on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.